Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Brass Monkey X. Let's fix the Sega Game Gear. Alright, check it out, guys. So, my buddy Jones dropped off this Sega Game Gear here. Asked me to take a look at it. It's doing something real odd. Now, I put fresh batteries in it, as you can see. And what happens is when you turn it on, it's acting real strange. It'll turn on for 1 second and then turn right back off. Watch it again. Ready? On and off. Yep. Doesn't matter if I use the batteries or if I plug it in. So I have the power adapter for it. If I plug that in, it does the same thing. And now it's not even powering on. What the heck? Alright, let's see. Try that again. There it is. You get 1 second of powering on. So, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to take this thing apart. We're going to clean it thoroughly. Inspect the inside. Make sure all the soldering is good. Make sure everything's, looking ship shape. And then we'll try it again. We'll see if we can get it working. Okay, so let's check out this Game Gear here. Now, when my buddy dropped it off, he gave me the Game Gear. As you can see, it does have the covers on the back. I just didn't have them on when I was testing it with the batteries. It did come with the power block here. So that is functioning. And then I thought this was interesting. I wanted to show you guys this before we get started. The Game Gear battery pack. I've never seen one of these. This is pretty interesting. You can actually charge this up with the power block. And this is like a portable battery that you can take with you to charge your Game Gear while you play. It's got the belt clip on it and everything. You just put that on your belt and you plug this end in where the power adapter would normally go. I thought that was a really cool add-on. Never seen one of those before. But anyway, let's get started. We're going to go ahead and get this thing taken apart. It does have quite a lot of screws on the back here to get going. What you're going to do is just take the case, the battery compartment cases off, get those out of the way, and then to open this thing up, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one screw down there, one screw down there, so it's 6 total so far. So don't forget the 2 that are in the battery compartments. And then you've got a security bit up here as well. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get all those taken out, and I'm going to pull this thing apart. Okay, so we've got all 7 of the screws out. It was 6 Phillips heads and that 1 security bit. Now, we're going to go ahead, pull this cover off. Hopefully, it's not as bad as that last Game Boy Advance I did. If you guys saw that video, how disgusting was that? It was full of bugs. Like, there was a bunch of dead bugs. It had a bug infestation in the Game Boy Advance. I will post a link to that video in the description below. If you haven't seen it, you have to check that out. But let's open this up and take a peek. And oh, thank God, it is not that bad. Alright, cool. So let me get this apart and then see where we're going to go from there. Okay, this doesn't look too bad in here at all. It is a little dusty in here. We're going to get that cleaned up, but it's not too bad at all. This actually looks really clean. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to separate the 2 halves right now. I'm going to pop that off right there and pop off that connection. That should do it. Looks like there might be, there's one more connection in here. So I'll pop that off there as well. And then I should be able to separate the 2. And then we'll take a look at each half individually. Okay, we've got the 2 halves separated here. I got the back and the front. Now, they did separate from the back half. If you look down in there, right here and here, that's where these connectors were. The white connectors pop off. Okay, you can't disconnect them from the blue side. You got to disconnect them from the white side, which is the back half. Okay, So we'll start with the back half. I'll move the front away. Now on the back half, this is the side with your battery terminals there. Okay. You have like your control knobs up top. And you have your power switch over on this side. And you can see, try and get it to focus. Turn a light on there. There is definitely dust in that power switch. So we're going to get that nice and cleaned up. I'm going to use my trusty WD-40 contact cleaner. I'm going to clean up all of this. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the front side. Okay guys, so I used my contact cleaner and a Q-tip here. I cleaned both of these boards, the one on the left here and the one on the right. Now this one here, this one is where the switch is, the power switch. And I wanted to pull this out so I can get a better look at that switch. So there's two screws, one there and one there. They're little brass screws, okay? I took them out, but the problem is I was going to take that whole board out. But as you can see there, it's real weird. The board is kind of locked in underneath this piece of plastic that is super glued down. Like there's the only way to take that up, I'd have to break that piece of plastic. And I don't think I want to get into that. So what I did was, to see the other side of the board, it's a little tough on camera here, but I could kind of pry that and look down in there. And I could see, hold on, let me turn a light on. I could see that the solder connections there looked pretty good. They don't look to be faulty. So we're just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to pull that out because I don't want to break this piece of plastic off. That's got me a little worried. So I'm just going to put those two screws back in, and we're going to call this side of the board done. What I also did was, these connections here for the battery terminals, I pulled these little sleeves back. I checked those out. They all look pretty good. The solder on those is fine, so I don't think that's an issue. And I did make sure that I sprayed some of that contact cleaner down here in these connection points for those wires. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3. That's for those 3 wires that we disconnected. I made sure to spray those pretty good. So this side of the Game Gear, we're going to call this done. We're going to set this aside, and we are going to go ahead and take a look at this side now. Give me 1 second. Let me take a look at it. Okay, so I think I'm going to pull this board out of here and take a look at it. That way I can get a good look at the other side, and I can look at the screen too. There are a ton of screws holding this thing in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I may have to take these out too. That would be 8. So let me go ahead and get all these screws removed, and then we're going to go ahead and pull this board out. Okay, so I have the main board separated from the front of the case now. It was like I said, there was just 6 small screws around the outside, and then the 2 larger screws here and here. Once you get those out, it just kind of lifts right out of there. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the front of the Game Gear here, the front of the case. I'm going to clean up all the buttons and everything, and I'm going to clean this screen. This screen looked pretty dirty. That's not all on the outside. Some of that's on the inside too, somehow. So I'm going to get that screen all cleaned up, get these buttons cleaned, and then I'm not even going to show you guys doing that because that's real easy. Then I'm just going to take a look at this board here. And then there should be, yep, there's a screen on this side as well. So we're just going to set that aside. Like I said, I'm going to pay attention to this first, and then I'll move on to the main board. Okay, so I got the front of that case all clean. I cleaned that glass real good. I cleaned the buttons and everything. And now we're going to pay attention to the main board here. So what I'm looking at, guys, is I'm taking a look at the board. I check all of the connections. Okay, like these blue connections here, there, and there. Okay, I make sure everything is connected well. I take a look down here at the pins. I get those cleaned up real well. Okay, I'm going to use some contact cleaner on that. I'm going to get a nylon brush and I'm going to brush in there. Anywhere where it's dusty on the board, what I do is it depends. If it's real dusty, you can spray the contact cleaner straight onto the board and then you want to just clean it off with a Q-tip, or you can spray the contact cleaner on the Q-tip. If you don't have contact cleaner, you can use isopropyl alcohol. It works just the same. So, like I said, we're just getting it cleaned up, dusted off, and checking all the connections, making sure everything is fit properly. Now, it's the same thing on the other side. On this side, I'm going to clean that screen. Okay, I'm not going to put any of the contact cleaner on that. I'm just going to use a microfiber cloth. I'm going to check all of these solder points. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for like rusted out solder, any bad connections, because I can resolder those. I do have a soldering gun, and if need be, I can resolder everything. Okay, so I'm checking all those connections as well. I'm going to check these ribbon cables. I'm going to make sure these are connected properly. Okay, the one where my thumb is and over here on the side, make sure all of that is connected as well. Okay, so that's what I'm doing when I'm looking at these boards. I'm not just flipping it over and, oh yeah, look at that, like I don't know what I'm looking at. You're checking the connections and everything. You're checking the soldering points. You're making sure everything is good, and you're cleaning off the board, okay? So let me go get that done. Okay, so we cleaned off this main board, okay, both sides. I took a look. All that soldering points were good. I did spray contact cleaner down in the pins and on all of the connections just to make sure those were good. So hopefully a good cleaning is all this needed. If not, I mean, I'm not really sure, then it is beyond my capability. So we're just going to go ahead and reassemble, and we're going to try it out and see if good cleaning will do the trick. So let me get it all put back together, and then we'll try it again. All right, guys, check it out. So I got this Game Gear all back together. Now, the outside of the screen is pretty scratched up. There's some significant scratches on there. Nothing I can do about that. I cannot fix that. But here's the thing. I finally get one of these things working, right? You guys, if you watch my videos, you see that every now and again I'm not successful with these handhelds. I finally got this one to work. Watch. Power's on, and the screen actually stays on now. But here's the thing. I don't collect Game Gear. I don't have any Game Gear games, so I have nothing to plug into this to show you that it actually works, other than the fact that it powers on now, the screen shines up, and it just stays lit. But it's not going to do anything without any games in it. So, I'm calling this one a win. It's working now. You guys saw before, the beginning of the video. I'd turn it on, the power would come on, right? That screen would shine up for half a second and turn right back off. Now it's on. I just don't have a game to try out. That's so unfortunate. But I'm calling this one a win. I don't care. Fantastic. I got it working. This Game Gear is fixed. All it needed was a good cleaning. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you next time.